ancestors crossed mountain ranges, sailed open oceans to map new lands, and sought out the unknown, while always looking to the stars. We're curious, and now we're at a place where we can pioneer new horizons. Now is the time.
New Shepard has cleared the tower.
To open the promise of space to all.
Yes, guys, we're doing it!
And lay the way for generations to come. When our descendants look to the stars, they'll remember this time. When they reflect on where it started, they'll remember this place. And when they honor those first explorers who said, "Let's go," they'll remember these bold steps. We are of Blue origin. And this,
that's right there, is go for death,
is just the beginning.
Welcome, everyone. It is a beautiful day to launch our new rocket. Denise, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Ariane. I can't believe we're here together. You know, so many years of hard work from across all the teams of Blue Origin to bring us here today. And a warm welcome to everyone watching. I've been at Blue Origin for 4 years, and I just got to say, I am so thrilled to be here.
You were speaking my language, girl. Now, Denise, you're one of our principal engineers on the New Glenn program. I'm looking forward to your insider perspective as we go through launch. What do you think you're most looking forward to tonight?
So many things, but I think for me, hands down, it's going to be the noise. You know, New Glenn is just so big. Those BE4 engines are so powerful, and it's so close to us. I really think that people all up and down the Cape and Cocoa Beach are going to see something brand new today. And yep, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to bring some insider technical content as we go. You know, in my role at Blue as the principal contamination control engineer on the New Glenn team, I'm going to try to provide all those cool details that folks might want to know.
It's great to have you with me today. Thanks so much. You've been one of many team members working extremely hard on this vehicle, so this is a big day for you and the team.
And what a day for you, Ariane. Congratulations on your baby girl. Welcome back from maternity leave.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here for New Glenn's first launch. Absolutely no way I would miss this. I had my beautiful baby girl just a couple months back, and now I feel like I'm back for the birth of my other baby back here, New Glenn. But before we get in a little too deep into the show, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the devastating fires in California. We hope that everybody remains safe, and we want to send our deep appreciation for the incredible work of the firefighters and emergency workers battling these fires and caring for so many people. We at Blue actually have a few hundred employees in the great state of California, many at the center of it all.
We are Team Blue, and our hearts are with you during this difficult time.
Well said. Now, with that, let's turn our attention to the star of the show today, New Glenn, standing proud on the launch tower just a few miles away at Launch Complex 36.
There it is, standing tall. And you know, we've got plenty of cameras all around the pad, so we're going to get some great views today.
That rocket looks good.
It really does.
Why don't you start, Denise, by giving us a tour of the vehicle?
Well, New Glenn is Blue Origin's next generation orbital class rocket, and it's built on a reusable first stage.
And speaking of reusability, let's look at the aft section there of New Glenn. One of the things that is critical to New Glenn, of course, because it's a reusable vehicle, is the landing gear that's housed in the aft section there.
So there's actually 6 landing legs on that aft section, and they're actually going to deploy right before it lands.
And unlike New Shepard, our suborbital vehicle, New Glenn's booster is going to land out at sea.
New Glenn is going to launch vertically here at the Cape. It'll then arc over the Atlantic on its way to orbit. The first stage is then going to maneuver its way back to Earth onto a landing platform that's actually positioned in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the first stage booster is powered by 7 BE4 engines, and these are really powerful engines. Each one is capable of over 500,000 pounds of thrust each. So when we combine all 7, we're talking about a launch vehicle with a thrust at liftoff of nearly 4 million pounds.
3.85 million to be exact. Got to make sure our engineers, out there don't call us out. Got to get the sig figs right. But that's just the first stage. And as the first stage is busy landing back on Earth, meanwhile, the second stage is going to continue into orbit. Just for a quick intro for those that are not, really into rockets, when we talk about stages, basically what we're doing is we stack one rocket on top of the other. Stage 1, stage 2. Stage 2 is the bottom. Stage 1 is the stage 1 is the bottom, stage 2 is the top.
Correct, yeah. So stage 2 is actually what's sitting right there on top of the booster on the pad. And what's really unique about the second stage is that it's powered by 2 BE-3Us. Now, these are actually an upgraded design based on the liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen engines that power New Shepard.
And then, of course, there's the crown of the vehicle, if you will, the payload fairing on top.
Yep, that's my favorite part, the payload fairing. It sits right on top of that second stage, and it's really a protective cover that takes care of our payload on its way to space. But it's really what's inside the fairing that's at the heart of every New Glenn mission.
That's right. So every rocket launch is about sending something to space, and today's launch is no different. For this first mission, that payload is a pathfinder for another Blue Ring program, Blue Ring. It happens to be very near and dear to my heart because it's the program that I help lead. But before we get too deep into that, I am thrilled to say that we've got a couple other faces to meet this evening that are going to be bringing us all the action. So first, I would like to bring in my teammate Maggie McNeese from our government team in DC. She's standing near mission control now. Maggie, you there?
Hey, Ariane. Hey, Denise. We really doing this?
This is happening. We are definitely here at launch day, and you have to be feeling some of the same tingles we are down here. Why don't you situate us to where you are standing up there? What's going on? What is the vibe up there?
The vibes are impeccable. I am here by mission control. Right down the hallway, as you said before, we've got our launch control. In these rooms are our engineering teams and operators who are going to go ahead and be, looking at all of the data coming off the vehicles. They're going to give us our best chance of success today.
Now, we've got a pretty special assignment for you there, Maggie. We're going to have you reporting right up there through the launch to keep us plugged in behind the scenes. What are you looking forward to sharing with us today?
A lot. I'm really looking forward to making sure that you know what's going on in these rooms, take you through some of the personalities we've got inside, how it all works. If there are a couple anomalies, we'll work through those together. It's going to be a great time, Ariane.
Love it. Thank you so much, Maggie. We're grateful to have you up there and keeping us connected. And of course, we're going to patch you in as we go. Now, let's check in with our broader Blue team. Our employees in Florida today are getting a close-up view of the launch over at nearby Cars Park. Eddie Seifert is there standing by. Eddie, you there?
Yeah, hey, Ariane, welcome. Welcome to the best seat in the house. We've got the best Team Blue behind me. I hope you can hear it. It's pandemonium. How are you guys doing over there?
Oh my God, I love the energy. Talk to us. Tell me about the scene. What you're seeing. What's the view? Talk to us.
We are 6 miles away as the crow flies to Launch Complex 36. It's pandemonium here. New Glenn is perfectly viewed in the distance, and we are here to support at Cars Park. We're joined by Space Coast residents. We're joined by family members, team members. This is really an exciting moment for Team Blue.
Eddie, now you're a familiar face across Blue Origin. You've got a front row seat at Blue watching this rocket go from design to build to test. What's going through your head right now?
It's a collective sense of anticipation. Everyone here has done everything that they knew to do to the best of their ability. Their family members have sacrificed for them to be here at this moment. One proposal. Let's send it. Let's light this candle. Let's send New Glenn to space. Let's send Blue Ring on its mission. This team is...
Well, Eddie, one more cool thing that you and the team collaborated on. I understand all of Team Blue signed the fairing before it went to the pad. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, so signing space hardware is a tradition at Blue. From the new Shepard.
Hey, brother. Just wanted to say hi, do a quick mic check while Blue Origin is setting up the hype for the launch tonight. How you doing, brother?
Sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to troubleshoot some issues. My feed from the audio from the
From the stream,
from the
from Blue
stream
Origin.
keeps cutting
Yeah.
in and out. And I don't know if I'm having a computer issue because I've noticed, of course, I'm having computer issues. It's me. But I've noticed over the last couple of podcasts that might be an issue. So I have no idea where to even start. So I might have to.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just wanted to say hi to everybody watching tonight. We do have some people watching on YouTube and also X that we're streaming on.
Nice.
Just want to say hi. I'm Aaron. That's Tony. I don't know if Ryan's going to pop on or not. I'm assuming he's sound asleep because when we sent the text out, no reply from little brother. So it'll just be us tonight.
That's
but
fine.
we'll pop in and out with Blue Origin's stream, obviously. But we're excited to see the New Glenn launch, the New Glenn rocket, and see what they have, because it's supposed to be a lot like how SpaceX Falcon 9 operates, launches, and then they're going to land the booster on a drone ship out in the ocean. So we're looking forward to that. And Blue Origin's approach is a little bit different than SpaceX, where Blue Origin, they are kind of more like NASA, where they want to have a full system and they expect the full system to work. This isn't some, crazy test flight that SpaceX does, where SpaceX tests to fail and then fix along the way.
Right.
Kind of like they're doing with, Starship and Super Heavy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but I just want to say hi for all those that are watching, and we look forward to sharing the Blue Origin stream with y'all tonight. And in the chat, if you want to, I'll bring up the audio on Blue Origin's feed here in a second, but in the chat, just let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to interact with you. And also if the audio sounds okay, if it's just on Tony's end, because the audio sounds great on my end.
If it's probably me.
Okay.
Something. It just seems like something has changed, but I haven't changed any of the settings. Am I sounding okay? Am I loud?
Yeah, your mic sounds good.
Okay.
Your mic sounds good. So
Good.
Anyway, here, I'll bring back up the audio from Blue Origin's feed here.
Have we seen
It's a work.
a
We'll see how
countdown
it
yet?
performs. But hey,
How
no
much
matter what
longer till
happens,
launch?
we're going to learn a ton, get loads of data, and apply it to NG-2.
So
Now, that's it.
not yet.
If we land this
Okay.
thing, I'm going to lose my mind.
You and me both.
Okay, good. Just setting expectations for everybody.
But it should
on
be
this one.
fueled and ready
Now,
to
some
go.
other business to
Obviously, you
discuss
see
this
the
evening
venting
is
there.
The payload we
Right.
have on board.
Also,
We have early technology demonstration
early
on
posts
board
on
with
X that
Blue
I
Ring.
saw. So
And as mentioned before, it is something that I'm very excited about because it's related to the program that I help lead here at Blue Origin. There it is on the left side of your screen there, sitting nice and ready to go in the payload fairing. But to be clear, what you're looking at, this is not Blue Ring itself. This is not the Blue Ring spacecraft itself. It is a pathfinder for the Blue Ring vehicle. And so the vehicle, the Blue Ring vehicle that we are building currently employs a lot of the same technologies and capabilities that are put in that vehicle that you see on the left of your screen. And today we are going to validate the communication capabilities from orbit to the ground. Now, it's also worth noting that today's payload is non-separating. So it's going to actually stay attached to the second stage throughout the mission as it powers on and it begins collecting data. For the broader system we're building, for the Blue Ring itself, you can think of Blue Ring as a utility vehicle, a multi-tool, or kind of a mobile service station that we can use to run errands around the solar system. Today, on this mission, it's a super cool pathfinder for that vehicle that will be flying. We have some exciting details to share a little later on. We're going to get way in depth on the exact technology that we're testing today, as well as Blue Ring. But I'll tell you right now, I'm super excited about not just the launch, but the payload, and for both, you know, the New Glenn team and the Blue Ring team. So much work has come together today. And that's why today is such a big deal. We're going to be
What's up, Joe? Thanks for the audio check.
A road to space for the benefit of Earth.
Such an exciting launch and just so much to aim for.
Yes, but to level set again, at the end of the day, we know that we're in this for the long haul. Today is just day one, the beginning of a new chapter for New Glenn. We're going to collect a significant amount of data, no matter what happens. And from our perspective, the way I like to put it, data is the currency of success. The more data we have, the better off we are. The longer we fly, the more data we collect, the more we can crunch on, so we can reinvest back into New Glenn for New Glenn 2 and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. And that data is really going to be critical for our engineers and our ability to evolve New Glenn into a fully operational program. You know, with New Shepard, we've flown 28 missions so far, and we've sent over 40 astronauts to space. And while we consider that system fully operational, that flight data that we get after every mission helps our engineers fine-tune the system. It helps us refine our procedures, reduces the overall time between launches, and perhaps most important of all,
so brother, I'll just turn the audio down a little bit. We can maybe chat a little bit more, but yeah, good looking rocket.
Yes, it is. It doesn't quite look as phallic as their other attempt. That was
very true.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of jokes.
Oh yeah,
lots of jokes.
There's that recurring Blue Origin theme of reusability. New Shepard has.
Do you have their audio down? Is that right?
Yeah, I turned their audio down a little bit, but you know, looking forward to this. It's a really cool time to be alive. It's a brand new space race.
Oh, absolutely.
And
by the private sector, which is what I like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, Blue Origin is successful with this. I'm sure regardless of what happens tonight, they'll get this rocket right. You know, we're hoping everything goes nominal.
Right.
But, I mean, NASA's SLS rocket, you're almost kind of like the billions of dollars per launch. I mean, why would they continue that?
Exactly.
You know, when you got SpaceX and then now Blue Origin with the heavy lift. So I don't know. It's interesting. Joe says, I wonder how long until space rockets deliver Amazon packages.
Well, I guess it depends on where you're ordering it from.
That's true. That's very true. But here, we'll pull up the audio a little bit, talking about
be able to watch it live.
The ship.
Our booster touches down, and that's just going to be so cool.
Yes, it is going to be such a pivotal moment. Our first landing attempt for this rocket.
That's a huge ass drone ship, I guess, for a large rocket like New Glenn.
Right.
A beautiful landing pad there with our Blue Origin feather, just waiting to just welcome home a rocket from space. No big deal.
And after that booster lands on the Jacqueline, the vessel is going to transport the booster back to our facilities here at Rocket Park. We're going to do an inspection before flying again. And this is, of course, very important because...
You've heard us sing this tune before. Reusable vehicles are how we will radically reduce the cost of access to space. Now, I hope you're all out there getting a sense of the set pieces here that make up today's launch. We've got the vehicle itself. We've got the ground systems, but we've also got...
Looks like the ocean's doing all right. I know a day or so ago that was one of the issues why there was a day delay.
That are working hard to get us to our launch. Now, let's take a moment and toss to New Glenn on the pad as we make our way towards the very first orbital flight for Blue Origin.
Like I said, I'm surprised there's not a
countdown. Oh, there it is.
All right, we got 40 minutes. Oh man, it's gonna be late tonight.
It is gonna be a late
midnight oil.
That's right.
Whew.
That's right. Of course, it's only 10:50 for us, but
That's
you
true.
know,
So
we're in mountain time zone.
11:30 ish. It sounds like.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, so far, Blue Origin has said no issues with the launch. Supposedly, everything looks good for it.
pretty
Um,
awesome.
Gosh, it really is a fun time to be following the space program again. There's so many new rockets, new designs,
Oh yeah.
exciting. All this talk of Mars soon and the moon, reusable rockets.
I know. I almost wish I was born like 20 years later.
To see yeah. Well, hopefully we'll still be around in 20 years to be able to
I
see,
hope so too.
the fruits of
Welcome back, everybody.
all this.
We are officially at T minus 38 minutes and 57 seconds to go until launch, our first launch of New Glenn. I should note that as we go along here, you might see our clock bounce around a little bit. That's just our teams getting aligned and making sure that by the time we get down to 0, everybody's set and ready to go. But talking about ready to go, Denise, why don't you give us an update on the vehicle and its preparedness?
Absolutely. So our team has already completed fueling up New Glenn's propellant tanks for both our first stage and our second stage. We are now entering the next step, which is called propellant conditioning. This is, of course, a crucial step because we need to make sure that those propellants are at the right temperatures and at the right pressures. We also need to manage pressure. You might have noticed that there's a lot of excess gases that are being vented from our first stage and our second stage. This is because our cryogenic propellants are so cold that they're experiencing something called a boil off. So we are venting all that excess gas to prevent buildup and overpressurization. You may have also noticed on your screen that we have the flame stacks, or what we lovingly call the tiki torches. That's there as a safety mechanism to make sure that we are burning all that flammable oxygen and hydrogen, protecting New Glenn and our launch pad. So that is where we are right now. We'll keep tracking progress as we make our way to terminal count.
Thank you very much. We will look forward to the next update on the team and the rocket there. Now, we mentioned that we're sitting in the rocket factory here. Blue Origin's mission control is right upstairs, right above our head. And we're very close to where the rocket is itself. So maybe if you zoom out a little bit, Denise, you can give us a sense from a geography-wise where we're sitting.
We are super close. So behind me, I have a map of Florida. You can see very clearly here we have Merritt Island and Cape Canaveral. If you go ahead and zoom in, I'll show you where we are right now. We are right now at Blue Origin's Rocket Park. This is where New Glenn is built, integrated, tested. This is where we're coming in live from our studio. And just a short 8 miles away, we have LC-36, where New Glenn is standing proudly, waiting for its first launch. You just heard from Eddie and a few of our employees. They're just here in Cars Park, and if you're lucky enough to be watching from either Jetty Park or anywhere up, down Cocoa Beach, you are going to get a great view of the New Glenn launch tonight. So that's the lay of the land here. It just really goes to show you how the full operation of New Glenn is nearby.
And not only that, but New Glenn, the New Glenn operation is also right in the heart.
Hey, I'm going to jump out here and just go to X real quick and just kind of scroll through our feed that we have there on X and people that we are following. Just there's some cool photos of people that are out there, people commenting like Scott Manley. We have a countdown timer. That's like exactly when you said, where's the countdown?
That's too funny, actually.
It really is. And then we have at Emma_Nicole88 ready for New Glenn. Got some cool pictures there. You can see the launch complex in the distance there. So that's cool. So a lot of people excited for that. Let's see. Now there was let's see here. Excuse me. Where These are bookmarks. Whenever I jump on, I'm like always getting confused on where everything is. Let's see. Okay, so there was a
tab to the left, right above
Uh,
post.
yes. Okay. Well, anyway, this is what I wanted to share. So for those of you that are watching along the East Coast of the United States, you can see the flight trajectory and the visibility of the launch depending on where you're at,
Cool.
up and down the coast there. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of really cool photos and video.
I don't see Utah on that.
Unfortunately, we're a little bit too far away for that. But yeah, I just want to, Blue Origin put out this graphic, and this is pretty damn cool. We got to get to Florida to see some launches. We need to get to Boca Chica as well to
I know, right?
see some SpaceX launches too. But man, so much going on. Pretty damn cool though. So keep your eyes peeled because you'll be able to see, gosh, like up like once you get into like, Georgia, South Carolina. I mean, what is that, 5 and 6? I mean, that's only 150 seconds, 180 seconds after launch. I mean, that thing's hauling ass to orbit.
Thing is
So
traveling way fast.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, I just wanted to put that on there so people haven't seen or heard, they'll be able to.
I'm saying that. We've been talking about this such a long
Keep an
time.
eye out.
This is wild. Now, again, this is our first flight. We have prepared rigorously for it, but I want to reiterate, our key objective today is to reach orbit safely. That in itself is a big deal, and anything beyond that is a bonus. That said, we also know that landing the booster would be very cool. We also know that it is very ambitious to do this on the first time, but we're going for it. And no matter what happens,
jump on here really
you're going
quick
to
and just
learn
share
a
this
lot. We're going
real
to
fast.
Sure.
Just so if you're on the East Coast, chances are you're going to see it.
Yeah, all that weather is over New Orleans, and
exactly. So I mean, if you're north or south, pull up that overlay again, brother, that you had. I just want to see it one more time.
Okay, sure.
So basically, if you're west of Jacksonville, the chances probably aren't very good that you're going to see it tonight.
Let's see. So let me pull up this overlay that I have real quick.
Here it is. This is what I wanted to show really fast.
Oh yeah, it's that one. There you go. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you're west of Jacksonville, but man, if you're north, I think you got a pretty good shot at seeing it tonight. That's pretty.
Yeah, and anywhere in Florida, pretty much. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. Of course, those Florida people, they're used to it. It's like, oh, another launch, yawn. I wouldn't be that way. Of course, when we lived next to Hill Air Force Base all those years ago, I never got used to it because I loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
Exactly.
Oh, they're showing the difference in size between their New Shepard.
We don't really need to ship New Shepard off to another planet anytime soon, as far as we can imagine. Although that would be a pretty cool, sneaky, third and fourth stage if you count that capsule in there. But that said, we make this point because it speaks to future capabilities, like moon landers, other large vehicles that are similar in size to New Shepard. It is incredible that fairing volume and the size, what it's going to enable as we build this road to space. Now, it's not often that you get to stand next to a massive rocket like that on a launch pad, ready to go to space. But you and I had an amazing opportunity. This is just a day or two ago. And I don't know, I just look at this video and I get tingles. It incredible to be at the base and looking at what our team has worked on for such a long time. There you see the flame trench. Smoke and fire, baby. That's what we're looking for tonight.
I get chills every time I watch that. I mean, that was just so incredible. That's not something that I will likely forget anytime soon. It's just so tall when you're standing right next to it.
Yeah. Well, that tall rocket is going to space tonight. And you all are going to be here to watch and cheer on with
T-minus 29 minutes and change. We're getting closer.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully
Yes, we
that'll give
are.
you key differences between a vehicle like New Glenn and others that have lifted off from this pad in the past. I think there's another key thing about New Glenn, and it really is that reusability aspect. So while the scale of New Glenn is truly remarkable, I mean, this rocket is built for big things, supersized, with an incredible lift capability. But to do that in a way that's sustainable, using reusable hardware, I think that for me is the biggest innovation for New Glenn.
100%. Reusability. It is such a critical component of
So trying to kind of get an idea of the size of the rocket. So I just found this on X. You can get an idea of the.
Oh wow, okay. So it's still a fairly big rocket.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty big rocket. And let's see, I found another one here too. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick.
The vehicles from Earth up to space. The stages will then separate, and it's the second stage that powers our payload into orbit.
So here you see another cool overlay. Oh, you saw it just a moment ago of
The Saturn V.
Saturn V rocket. I mean,
I saw one with the Saturn V, and then here is one. Let's see, with the comparison to the Falcon Heavy, I believe.
Our game plan, like Saturn V, our game plan is to use New Glenn to go to the moon too. I hope you host that webcast with me too.
Oh wow, okay. So there it is next to Falcon Heavy.
Yep.
So that's our orbital rocket in a nutshell. Now, while we've got a couple minutes to go here, we're at T-minus 28 minutes to go.
So yeah, I mean it's a big ship. It just from their video, I couldn't tell
Right.
exactly how tall it was. But yeah, I mean it's
Hey
a tall ship.
Ariane, we're here at Cars Park. We're less than 6 miles as the crow flies to Launch Complex 36.
That guy likes to talk about the crow.
Standing 320 feet tall, vehicle access tower.
As the crow flies.
In the world, and we are ready. Aren't we ready, team?
I wonder if the science teacher, all those kids that will miss school tomorrow, are going to give them extra credit for science.
They should. They better not mark them absent.
Exactly.
Future Blue Origin employees are all out there psyched for this first flight.
We've got our New Glenn patch.
What are you hearing the employees talk about?
So listen, we're looking forward to the rumble of the BE4 engine. We're going to hear it. We're looking forward to the blue streak across the dark sky. And we've
the
got,
B4
the
engine's a
flags,
big
the
engine.
emblems, the swag. We're very proud to be here. We're very proud to be sharing this moment with our community, right? The word that everybody keeps using tonight is grateful. How grateful we are to be here, how grateful we are for each other, and how grateful we are for the Space Coast that has accepted us.
So a lot of these folks have day jobs here in the factory, and you're not far from us, but describe the view you're getting. How is it different from what people will see from here at Rocket Park?
Yeah, we've got an unencumbered view of the launch pad of New Glenn. We'll be able to see that arc as Blue Ring heads on its mission, and we're very excited about that. The air is electric here. We're just buzzing with excitement, and we're thrilled to be here, really.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a little jealous that you guys are going to get such a straight-on view of the launch pad. Oh, not complaining. Denise and I have a pretty great seat here, too, but thank you, Eddie. We'll be checking in back soon with you there again down at Cars Park.
We've got one more chant for you guys. We're going to get loud for you.
I'm actually jealous. It looks like it's fairly warm down there, but it just has hoodies on and light jackets where it's... In Eagle Mountain, Utah, it is currently 24 degrees. The forecast is 18 degrees overnight.
I do want to give
Yikes.
a special call out to our program
Hey, it's
leader,
31 here in St. George.
Jarrett Jones.
Going to get down to
Jared has led the New Glenn
25.
program
Wow,
for years.
okay.
And I'm very
It's really
grateful to
down
be able
here,
to call him a friend. He has a deep background in aerospace. There he is. And he's been instrumental through the build up to today's launch. I mean, there you see him just a moment ago, and let's see. Can we point him out here in launch control? Yes, he is there, kind of that first row, bottom left. There you go, checking in, got his eyes glued to his screen, talking to one of our long-term core employees here. We got Mark Featherstone, who has been also leading this program for a long time. And man, and you saw that image just a moment ago with him in front of the New Glenn. That was the day that we installed the 7 engines on New Glenn for the first time. And I'm pretty sure he is absolutely psyched. You also see the gentleman in the center of that front row in the green sweatshirt. That is Dave Limp, our CEO, who joined us just
Joe, he's
about a
funny.
year ago. And talk about
Yeah, that explains no launch site on Great Salt Lake. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons. I remember my space shuttle history. Yeah, you don't want frozen O-rings on launch day.
No, they probably not.
And I should also throw in a special happy birthday to Jeff.
But Joe also says, "Oh, sorry, go ahead, brother."
Oh no, I was just going to say, but you know, a lot of key components for the space shuttle program were built in Utah. Morton Thiokol, our stepdad Steve worked at Thiokol.
Yep.
Before he retired, and of course before his passing, and yeah, is that so? Is the second dude from the left on the front row? Is that Jeff Bezos?
Looks like it.
It does look like it, doesn't it?
It does.
Minutes to go until launch.
Does look like Bezos.
It's so great to have you all joining us for today's inaugural launch. We have folks tuning in from all over for this big day, and of course we had Eddie and the team down at Cars Park. Well, we also wanted to give a nod to a couple special groups watching from across the nation. We've got employees
Ramcheck Global,
at multiple
Ramcheck Aviation Podcast,
including for New Glenn. As I mentioned, not only do a lot of our employees work on multiple programs. There we go. We got Kent. We got Huntsville. I love it. Kent, of course.
I'm hoping that the food from Huntsville, that some of those are not part of the future astronaut
where we
program.
build all of our engines, our BE4s, our BE3Us. And
these are all engineers and manufacturing employees there, brother.
All right. I was going to say, if these were some of the future astronauts, never mind.
Stop it. For God's sakes.
And our team down in
Let's let everybody enjoy their night.
You guys
I'm just
are just
kidding.
the best.
You know me. I'm the controversial one.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna mute your mic there, brother.
See the passion, the energy.
What?
We have been working so hard to get to this point.
Mic?
Yeah, I'm gonna censor you live.
I can't complain about our view from right here. We have got a pretty sweet spot here, but I do want to go upstairs to our co-host Maggie, who's up near Mission Control. Maggie, you there?
Oh, Maggie looks like she has a good view.
I have found a new place to hang out.
Wow. All right. So I know that not only do you get to hang out near Mission Control, but this for our audience gives you a sense of how close they are to just being able to go outside on the deck there. Tell me about this view that you get and that some of our VIPs are going to get tonight.
Yep, I am out on the balcony. We are on the 3rd floor of our rocket factory. And just out there, you can see the red blinking light at the top of our tower. So the launch pad is right out there. And then just to my left here is the mission control team. So you know when that rocket goes up, they'll be turning their heads briefly.
Oh, yeah, that's going to light up.
So we're out here. We've got some guests, VIPs, some of our Blue family inside. They're still in there while it's warm, but I expect to see more and more people headed out here soon.
Now, Maggie, I know you're able to also listen in on the radio with the team behind you. What are some of the things that you're hearing?
Sure. About this time of the count, I am hearing them going into their weather brief. They are making sure that everything is clear downrange. That's both the water and in the air. And I haven't heard anything thus far, Ariane.
Well, thank you, Maggie. So great to have you up there, keeping us tuned into all of the action. As we noted, we've got launch control and mission control right back to back. We'll be checking in again with you in a couple of minutes. Okay, we're at T-minus 19 minutes and 50 seconds to go until our targeted liftoff. So we're getting closer and closer, and we want to point out a few things coming up ahead in our countdown, because some of them actually come in a pretty quick sequence.
Yeah, so coming up, we're going to have a planned weather check. This is where our teams take one last look at the weather for launch today. This weather check validates that our trajectory is still on track, and the team will continue to close out any remaining open items that could be on their dashboard.
The very capable folks in launch control upstairs will undoubtedly be checking through closeouts over the next few minutes or so. And once we get through those, we'll start to go into some final vehicle checks. So you want to walk us through those final vehicle checks?
Once we get to about T-4 terminal count, we're going to transition New Glenn into where our auto sequence begins. And the operation really becomes hands-off for our operators. We're going to be switching New Glenn to internal power, internal hydraulics, and things will move really quickly from there.
And then, as we approach the final moments, and just before we light the engines, there's this water deluge.
It's a huge water deluge. This is going to engulf the flame trench completely, which is going to protect our rocket from vibroacoustic and thermal loading. Finally, autopilot will be enabled. We'll flex the gimbaling engines, and then, well, ignition.
Game on, ignition. I cannot wait for that moment. So all of this is very exciting, even to just hear said out loud. I think there's also a very specific sequence for starting the first stage engines. And talk us through that, because it's not like they just all turn on at once. We got to be careful about how we sequence the engines igniting.
Correct. So you might think that we ignite all 7 BE4s at once, but that's actually not the case. We do something called a staggered start sequence. Engines 1, 4, and 7 will light first, followed by engines 2, 3, 5, and 6. Now, of course, these will happen in a very quick succession, but the staggering start really helps to decrease the sudden pressure on the whole system. There just truly is so much power in those BE4 engines. So staggering them creates a more smooth on-ramp for all that power.
Absolutely. And we talk a lot about the rocket, but you can't forget the ground systems as well, right? So when we are essentially protecting the rocket from the vibration and all that power coming out of the engine, we're also protecting the launch pad itself, right? You see from the map that you showed us earlier how close we are to the water. The water table is just a couple of feet below the launch pad. And I should really talk, a lot of engineering went into the complete refurbishment of our launch complex. And so we want to take care of it. It's there for the long haul. But man, we got a big old powerful rocket. So this water deluge system is critical to both the rocket and the ground, the launch pad, the ground support equipment. Okay, we are at T-minus. We have just had a clock update here. We are at T-minus 37 minutes and 20 seconds
They
to go
added
until
more
launch.
time.
As we mentioned, this is kind of what we can expect from our team as we get primed and ready to go into launch today. So they just need a couple more minutes, and that's
it's a rocket launch, man.
You know,
That's gonna happen.
Well, and
New
this is the
Shepard
first
webcast
rocket
as
launch
well,
too
which
for
is
this
we have spent
particular
years
rocket.
designing this rocket, and you know, months
Joe
building
says I'd
it,
rather
and
watch jets, a
months
lot
going
less
into designing
complicated.
this
LOL.
operation. If we need a couple
And
more
there's a lot more
minutes
action.
before we, you know, we press go on this thing, that is a-okay with all of
Funny.
us. So with that, why don't we take a moment here to check out this beautiful New Glenn rocket on the pad, getting ready for its first mission to space ever.
That's a Frosty rocket. It's amazing how they can chill the propellant so low.
Oh yeah.
And they have to. And plus, by having it so cold, they can fit more of the propellant inside the rocket.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Did you turn the audio off for the video stream?
Negative.
Oh, okay. No, I can't hear it at all.
Well, it's just there's nobody talking. It's just some audio from the launch pad. You can kind of hear, I don't know, some mechanical sounds and just going on in the background. No chat at the moment. NG-1, New Glenn 1. That's cool. There was a video that Everyday Astronaut did, Tim Dodd, where he actually went to Blue Origin's manufacturing facility, and Jeff Bezos took him through the whole process of building the New Glenn. It's a pretty cool video. I watched on YouTube on Everyday Astronaut's channel.
Man, he is the man when it comes to this stuff.
I know.
He's so amazed.
I know. I'm sure most people watching any stream tonight are probably watching his stream.
Mm-hmm.
But we appreciate the ones watching ours.
Absolutely.
We're not quite as intense as Everyday Astronaut when it comes to space, as we mostly cover, most things aviation, especially military aviation. But, space travel, rockets, NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin,
Welcome back, everybody.
it's our thing too.
T-minus 33 minutes and 53 seconds to go until New Glenn's first launch. We're so happy to have you all join us.
Are you hearing that echo on that part?
Both here in the U.S. and everywhere around the world.
No.
Denise, tell our audience, where are we up to in the preparation of our vehicle?
So right now we're completing a systems functional check for New Glenn, and this is critical because we're ensuring that all of our systems are operating nominally. We're
Are you hearing the echo now?
Propulsion, avionics, guidance, communications, and even safety systems. Our engineers are also running diagnostics and
you still hearing the echo, brother?
I heard it a couple times, but it's just cutting in. It's not cutting in and out, but the echo is kind of coming in and out.
This is really crucial because we want to make sure that we're getting the right data between the rocket and the ground, as well as verifying the signal integrity. Now coming up, we're going to do one last weather check. This is where we get real-time data on wind speed, direction, temperature, humidity, cloud cover, lightning, even thunderstorms. Not just for the LC-36 pad, but we're also checking the weather where the Jacqueline is, so that she's ready to receive our booster. So that is where we are right now. Things are going to move quickly here.
Thanks, Denise. And yeah, we should reiterate again, the weather, we got to take into consideration the weather here, but also downrange, where the landing ship is, the Jacqueline. We've mentioned it earlier. Of course, that was one of the reasons why we need to take a little bit more time before getting to launch this evening.
And just like for Alan Shepard, for their new Shepard.
They were rocking and rolling. And we want to give our rocket the best chance of coming into land and sticking that landing on the Jacqueline. There is the Jacqueline ready to receive the first stage of New Glenn, so we can take it back home, refurbish it, put another payload on top, and go again. But again, we should reiterate some of our objectives for today. The primary objective is to go to space, go to orbit safely. That's number one. And if we happen to land this booster, as we mentioned before, there are going to be a lot of people losing their minds, mine as well. So stay tuned for that.
She's talking Denise, to a bunch of SpaceX fans, so we've been through this.
Down there. So the Blue
yes, we have.
Mission control right now, also surely tracking their own checklist as they make sure the Pathfinder payload is ready to go to launch as well.
Correct, yeah. So upstairs at the MC, we'll have a launch control and mission control. So our launch team is the one that's doing all these system checks on New Glenn, while mission control is making sure that they're doing similar system checks for the Blue Ring Pathfinder.
Wonderful. And let's take a second and dig in a little bit more on that payload. The Pathfinder is a cool piece of technology, and really, it's just the initial demo for a
Imagine
vehicle
how
program
nervous
for
everyone
Blue
is in
Ring
that shot.
that's quite far along in its own development. And we mentioned this earlier. Today's
Absolutely.
demo is a
Somebody
non-separated
pushed the damn
payload.
clock back.
This means the payload tonight is going to stay attached to New Glenn's second stage for the entire 6-hour mission. The other thing I want to reiterate about this Blue Ring Pathfinder is it's going to be testing a lot of the same technology, but it's not the Blue Ring itself. It's not the same form factor, but we're going to learn a lot from this evening. Now, what we want to, excuse me, I should say, as we talk about the Blue Ring Pathfinder, I want to reiterate that it's attached to the second stage, and it will stay there as it orbits the Earth. And that also is not normal, but we wanted to do that for today's demo mission. Now, today's demo mission on the Pathfinder is going to prove out some important components of our future vehicle, Blue Ring. And I get really excited. Clearly, I get so nervous I get excited talking about this. I love this program. It's one that I've had a hand in getting off the ground for the past year as part of Blue's in-space systems team. But I want to take you deeper into Blue Ring. Let's check out this video.
Blue Ring allows you to do many different things with one vehicle.
It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of satellites. It does a lot, and it does it really well.
Blue Ring is part of building that base layer of infrastructure in space that we at Blue Origin talk about. We can take up to 13 customers up to space, up to 3 metric tons, deploy those satellites.
It's going to give them all the capability that they need to be able to be placed where they want, or they can use a lot of the capability inside of Blue Ring.
It can do data storage, data computing, relaying the data.
And it's going to be a massive asset because it now allows all these payload customers to offload all of their data relay and critical processing needs.
You've got space domain awareness, you've got communications capabilities, and then you've also got this ability to host things on Blue Ring itself.
For customers who need orbit maneuver, we can maneuver them between orbits, within an orbit.
We can have nominally 3,000 meters per second of delta V with this vehicle, and in some configurations all the way up to 4,000 meters per second. And it has dual propulsion systems, meaning that I can use the chemical systems for really fast maneuvers, but then have electric propulsion for all of the station keeping and low energy maneuvers. A lot of our work is going to be done in geostationary orbit for sure, but we've got capabilities to go out to cislunar orbits and interplanetary.
Blue Ring Pathfinder is going to be on our first New Glenn flight, which is really exciting.
This first mission, it demonstrates our space-to-ground interfaces. So it proves out that we can command our vehicle on orbit, can receive data from the vehicle.
We'll be testing out and demonstrating a lot of the capabilities that will be hosted on the Blue Ring vehicle as a whole.
We're building not just the transportation systems through New Glenn, but also the infrastructure that will help future generations take advantage of what space has to offer.
Blue Ring is going to multiply what we can do in space and create the infrastructure like nothing else.
I don't know about you, but I am pretty excited, if you can't tell, to be able to say that the team I work with in my day job, Blue Ring, is the team behind the first payload ever on New Glenn.
It is so cool. Thinking about the way a vehicle like Blue Ring will open up access to space. I mean, that's really what it's all about. That key aspect of today's mission is that demo of space-to-ground communication capabilities for Blue Ring.
You got it. The Blue Ring Pathfinder will be testing its ability to send commands to the spacecraft, receive telemetry, and edge processing software that will demonstrate local autonomy and machine learning that will be part of the storage and compute mission kit that's going to be flying on all future Blue Ring vehicles. So basically, it has a computer predicting if the spacecraft is getting sick. We're also testing radiometric tracking, which, by the way, helps in navigation by using radio waves to track the spacecraft's position and velocity. So basically, radiometric tracking uses radio frequencies to track where the vehicle is and where it's going.
So Blue Ring is going to be very busy during this mission. It'll be sending and receiving data, it'll be tracking its own location, and processing mission data real time. And all of this will be communicated over RF to Atlas antennas stationed in Hawaii, the state of Georgia, and even Australia.
Yeah, these ground stations will collect telemetry and radiometric data, which is crucial for understanding how the spacecraft is performing and navigating in highly elliptical orbits in the MEO range. Now, this is unique because it allows the spacecraft to spend a significant amount of time over specific areas of Earth, making it an ideal orbit for certain communication and observation missions. And this is all part of proving how Blue Ring can navigate. All the data collected from this mission will be used to support the future production of the Blue Ring space vehicle, which undoubtedly will play a vital role in further space exploration and communication technologies.
That data and experience gained from this Pathfinder mission will be invaluable for our engineering team. It really does pave the way for more advanced missions. It helps ensure the reliability and the efficiency of future Blue Ring vehicles.
There you have it, folks. Now, Blue Ring Pathfinder is supported by the Department of Defense's Innovation Unit, or DIU. And let me tell you, we're so thankful for their involvement today. I should say they have been so supportive of our Pathfinder, but just the Blue Ring program in general. They are believers like us, so thank you to them. All right, with that, we're at T-minus 24 minutes and 3 seconds to go until T-minus 0. This is NG-1, the first flight of New Glenn, and we are so glad you're here joining us this evening. Why don't we take a moment to talk about our mission objectives for the launch? This is our first flight, and we've prepared rigorously for it, but we also know that none of this is easy. And our key objective today is to reach orbit safely. Anything beyond that is icing on the cake, bonus points. We know that landing the booster on the first try offshore is ambitious, but we are going for it. No matter what happens today, we are going to learn, refine, and apply that knowledge to our next launch. We're really looking forward to seeing how the vehicle performs. As I said earlier, more data, the better, right? We've pushed every single part, component, system in our testing well beyond its limits by design, but we also recognize that no amount of ground testing or mission simulations can replace the real-world conditions of flying this system into space, which is why we can't wait for the mission to get underway, see how things perform, and apply all the lessons learned to our next launch and beyond. It is an absolutely thrilling day. Again, we're so glad that you're here to share it with us. Now with that, we're at T-minus 22 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. Why don't we take a moment and check out New Glenn on the pad as it gets ready for its first launch to space today.
Nice. Looking forward to this. Once again, hey, for those of you watching on X and YouTube, thanks for joining. We are broadcasting the live stream from Blue Origin of the New Glenn NG-1 launch. Be the very first time New Glenn will launch. They're going to attempt to land it on their drone ship out in the ocean. That should be pretty spectacular footage. And it was Scott Manley on X that was saying, I wonder if they're using Starlink because they said they'll be able to bring live video for the landing. So that should be interesting. Starlink has really changed the aspect of live streaming. I mean, when you see SpaceX live streaming their Starship landing in the Indian Ocean over their last several test flights, that's pretty spectacular. And then they got video back from their buoy cameras.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining
Which is
us here
even
at
cooler.
T- 20 minutes and 50 seconds to
Oh,
go.
getting
until
closer.
New Glen's first launch. What a day for us. And, you know, it takes many, many smart people to bring a vehicle like New Glenn together. And one of those great people that I've had the pleasure of working with over several years is someone who now leads up customer integration for New Glenn. That is Blue Origin's Laura McGinnis. Laura is the Vice President of Mission Management for New Glenn. Now, before Blue, Laura spent time in a similar role with United Launch Alliance. She also had quite the career at the Air Force. And I had the pleasure of chatting with her just for a few minutes, just a little bit earlier, to hear what customers can start to expect from a vehicle like New Glenn. Let's listen to that chat.
Laura, thank you for taking the time, especially on such an important day, to give us a tour of the factory. This is kind of like your second home, I imagine, for the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely, Ariana. We're so excited about this factory and super excited to show you all a little bit about it.
Well, so talk to me a little bit about what we got going on here. We've got multiple rockets coming down the line.
Yeah, all kinds of things going on. So the basic layout is that the raw materials comes in from the south side of the building down here at the end of the aisle. We weld the tanks together down there. Then we bring the completed modules here for assembly. Over here we have our GS1 aft module, which will have landing legs, 7 BE4 engines installed. We do all of that work. We continue to assemble the stages down here. We build fairings.
Welcome
Behind the
back,
wall over
brother.
here, our 7-meter fairing,
Thank you.
which our
Can you hear me
customers
okay?
love, and eventually we roll
Yeah.
out the Glen stage
Mirror your
1, Glen
camera
stage
now to
2,
switch
and
it
the
back.
fairings out
Oh,
of the north
yeah.
end of the building. Those are all transported 8 miles over to Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and are assembled in our integration facility over there prior to launch.
And that's also, of course, where we integrate the payload as well. Just talking about customers a little bit, what have the
I think it
various
is
customers been
mirrored, isn't
saying
it?
about what they're excited
Well,
about?
you got to turn
We're
the
working
mirror
with our
off.
national security customer
There you
right
go.
now on certifying New Glenn because they really need an additional launch system.
Right.
We're also working with our NASA customers. They've got a lot of interest in the size of our payload fairing, both for rideshare kinds of things as well as large telescopes and large instruments. Commercial customers are thrilled about our capability
They
of
changed the
bringing
countdown
many
back
small
to
spacecraft
plus
to LEO.
30.
And we've
So
already
it's
been
at
doing some
33 now.
integration precisely with
Dude.
these customers. How has that process
I've
been
been here
going
all
with our
night.
customers?
We know our customers make us better.
That's all right.
So
They got to
these
get it
customers,
right.
many of them have been launching different
Yes, they
missions,
do.
different systems for years and years, and working with them to understand their needs, understand how we can adapt our system to best meet their needs.
So that's kind of the longer term work that you and your team have been doing. But let's get back to NG-1 for a second. What have the last couple of weeks been like down here at the Cape?
It's not simple to take this whole system into a successful vehicle. I would say one of our best learning opportunities was our integrated launch vehicle, Hotfire.
Video was unreal.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Beautiful. Was awesome. Glowing blue is like a, all right, this is game time.
Totally, yep.
This launch, NG-1, what are you most looking forward to? When it is go time, when the rocket lifts off, what do you think that's going to feel like?
I mean, I will say I love that final 4 minutes when we pick up terminal count and we're counting down and the room is super quiet, the energy, the excitement, the moment, and then feeling that lift off, seeing it on its way over the horizon, and then hearing that final call out that we have inserted our payload customer successfully into orbit is like just an amazing moment, and I can't wait for it. I know New Glenn's going to do it. It's going to be a great day.
A big thank you to Laura again for joining for that quick tour through our factory right behind where we are this evening.
All right, let's hope this is the last time they bring it back to plus T-minus 30 minutes.
Exactly.
But anyway, it's all
Okay, we are
Yeah,
at
go
T-minus
ahead.
31 minutes and 6 seconds to
Okay.
go until NG-1. We continue to tick down towards our first launch. I will mention again, you may have seen we went down and then we added some more time to the clock. That is just fine. That is our team taking a couple more minutes to make sure that all of their procedures are aligned as we tick down towards T-minus 0. So you might see a little bit more of that happening here. While we've got a little bit more time, why don't we talk about the flight profile for this evening's launch? What is that going to look like as we see this vehicle fly today?
We've imagined New Glenn's flight for so long. We've looked forward to this day, and I'm so excited just to see another vehicle of this size flying from the coast of Florida. We're going to be feeling the power of those BE4 engines here in the studio very shortly. After liftoff, there are a number of important milestones in the flight that we'll be tracking. So let's go ahead and take a detailed look at what New Glenn's first flight is going to be like.
New Glenn lifts off from Launch Complex 36 on Cape Canaveral. 7 BE4 engines will ignite and propel the rocket upward with over 3.8 million pounds of thrust, or roughly 17,000 kilonewtons. The vehicle will quickly reach supersonic speeds as it climbs through the atmosphere. As the rocket ascends, it will encounter maximum aerodynamic pressure known as max Q at around 40,000 feet or 12 kilometers. This is the point at which the stress on the vehicle is at its highest. Around 3 minutes into the flight, the vehicle will turn off its engines, marking the end of the boost phase. Shortly after, the reusable first stage will separate and begin its journey back to Earth. 2 BE3U engines on the second stage will ignite and propel it onward into orbit with the payload. The reusable booster reorients in the vacuum of space using its reaction control system. At 220,000 feet or 67 kilometers, it executes an exo-atmospheric deceleration burn using its center 3 engines. These engines gimbal for maximum control of the booster. This burn slows the vehicle down before re-entering the atmosphere. As it descends, the booster's strakes and fins work together to slow it down and guide it autonomously back to Earth, landing on a vessel at sea. At around 9,000 feet, or just under 3,000 meters, the first stage begins its final landing burn. The 3 middle engines will light for 20 seconds, slowing the vehicle in preparation for the final descent. The 2 outer engines will turn off, and the center engine will execute the final controlled maneuver onto the landing platform. The vessel will return to Cape Canaveral to prepare for its next mission. Meanwhile, in space, the second stage will continue to power the payload towards its final orbit. At around 400,000 feet or 120 kilometers, the payload fairings will jettison. New Glenn will deliver an unprecedented range of payloads. Large satellites, dual payloads, orbital vehicles, large constellation dispensers, even moon landers destined to establish permanent human presence on the moon. This is New Glenn. This is how we will build a road to space.
So again, there you got an opportunity to see what the mission profile will be for this rocket this evening. But I think what was really cool about that video as well is it gives you a sense of the future as well in terms of the various vehicles that we're going to be able to take on this rocket, whether it's a lot of LEO satellites or a lunar lander or a massive GEO payload, whatever it may be. I think that's one of the coolest things about this vehicle. It is very versatile. And it's the power of the vehicle matched with the volume of a 7-meter fairing that's going to allow this vehicle to be a workhorse for Blue Origin as well as our customers for years to come. So A beautiful rocket on the pad there waiting its first launch to space.
All right, T-minus 26 minutes now. So hopefully they got it down to as close to 20 minutes, but
I'm not
when they
holding
brought
my
it
breath
back,
again.
well, it is a rocket launch, so you should have learned by now not to hold your breath on anything.
I know.
But anyway, something interesting I was just going to show you guys. I kind of dabble in model rocketry.
Right.
It's nothing like what we're watching tonight. I do it mostly, you know, for the entertainment. Well, for me, of course, but also my kids. But I've been working on a 4-engine rocket that's about 5 feet tall, and it's not assembled yet. Got a little bit of paint on there, but anyway, that should be pretty spectacular to watch. But it's a lot of fun if you like rockets and you like space, you like aviation. I don't know, model rockets are fun to do, you know, a couple times a year. But I take the kids out and we've got a bunch of rockets that we launch together. I remember when Dad Tony would build rockets with me when I was a little kid, and launch with him, and that's, you know, kind of where it came from. But anyway,
Well,
and then
yeah, I didn't build many rockets with Dad, but man, we went to the airport.
oh yes,
many
airport
times.
and rockets, and
Yep.
this is a little rocket that Oliver built. It's just a little simple rocket, but anyway, that's
I
kind
like
of fun.
That's awesome.
Kind of fun, but anyway, does the same thing as the big rockets, but you know, not as impressive, of course.
So cool. I know. I need to actually go out and with you guys when you launch some rockets next time.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I know. I've been talking with Ryan too about it, but yeah, we've got some cool, fun ones.
You wait. Super exciting, brother. Super exciting.
All right. And we're T-minus 23 minutes, 30 seconds now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I was just kind of scouring through X, and it looks like somebody took a screenshot of Bezos at the console. And Space Suitor at Space Suitor. Jeff Bezos is locked in. Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Oh yeah.
And then Blue Origin, 9 minutes ago, they sent out an X post. New Glenn's new T-minus 0 is 2:07 a.m. So it looks like that was 9 minutes ago. So it looks like we're on track for that.
Good.
So that's good. You know, another good YouTube channel and X account other than the Everyday Astronaut is Marcus House. He's a really good one too.
I think I've seen a couple of his videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and just reconfigure my settings. Looking at the stream right now, it looks like you've got flames coming out of your head.
Well, I can assure you. Here, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can take this little rocket. Oh, they changed the view.
Oh, they did. Dang it.
Damn it. That's funny. Yeah, you know, someone else on X, as I was reading, Blue Origin started loading propellant like 5 hours ago, and they're just wondering why it only takes SpaceX like an hour.
Yeah.
But Blue Origin, you know, it seems like they have a system where it, you know, it's hours, and I don't know why that is. Hopefully somebody will address that, just, you know, for curiosity
Right, or maybe again,
reasons.
since this is the first launch of the New Glenn 1,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they're just being super, super cautious, overly cautious.
Yeah. Yeah, and Joe comments, it'll launch when it launches. Yeah.
Right.
I know. We know that there, Joe. But thanks
little past
for
my bedtime, but that's okay.
thanks for sticking on the live stream there.
Yes. Appreciate you guys watching. Okay, so we're at 20 minutes. Let's see if it
Breaks that
going.
20-minute.
Oh, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen?
All
Hey,
right.
what do you know? All right. I don't have clapping on here anymore. I thought I did. Oh, because it was a gig. Here, we'll just do this.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
There you go. That's right. And for, you know, we've actually over the last week gained quite a few more followers on X, and we've got quite a few watching the live stream on X, and we thank you for that. And if it's the first time that you've seen our live stream or a live stream, we try to do one weekly live stream,
Mm-hmm.
and usually Wednesday evenings. We do have a lot going on this year, so we're probably going to be just kind of popping in and out with live streams randomly throughout the week.
Yeah, we're good.
No.
I think we're gonna have to do that. We'll try and stick to our scheduled Wednesday nights, but
Yeah,
man, just
yeah. But
well,
we'll have to mix it up a little bit this year. But
I
you
was
know,
building the calendar for the next 6 months, and holy shit,
yeah,
busy
yeah, right.
with our
Right.
day jobs.
Yeah, yeah, we do run another business,
Yes.
and that does take time, and we fit it all in because this is what we love to do.
Absolutely.
But you know, and we've had, you know, quite a, you know, a handful of purchases at the Ramp Swag store. We appreciate that. A lot of stickers. You know, I put a post out on our Instagram and X about aviation photography or airplane spotting is not a crime.
Saw
Because
that.
some people just get harassed by law enforcement or security, you know, covering things. And, you know, hey, in the United States especially, you know, it's a constitutional right being out in public, and as long as you're on public property.
Yeah, as long as you're not trying to climb the fence to get on
Yeah.
the base or
Yeah, and
you know, restricted
and-
area, and you're
right.
respecting, yes.
Exactly, and not causing, you know, safety issues for you or others or motorists around you.
Right.
But the other thing is, and I also put part of that post is, it's also people's responsibility, you know, to not necessarily just post anything and everything that you see or capture. You know, sensitive things like an accident or a mishap, obviously, you know, you want to get together with authorities or, you know, base security or public affairs or whatever, and, you know, provide anything for an investigation or
With discretion and common sense.
Yeah, exactly. You want to be smart about it, because it's and as I said in the post, it's
Welcome
better.
back, everybody. We're at T-minus
I'll
16
continue on
minutes
in
and
a sec.
45 seconds to go
Okay.
until launch here.
We are getting
An
close.
exciting evening for all of us here at Blue Origin. I'm so glad that you joined us. Now, we have spoken about the wealth of experience in the New Glenn launch and mission control rooms upstairs, and I want to take it back to Maggie upstairs. who is standing by up there. Maggie, you with us?
Yep, Ariane, I am back at Mission Control, and as we make our way towards terminal count, the energy is high. It might seem like it's a little quiet with everyone sitting down, but the communications are ongoing. The launch director and his team are working super hard to get us there.
I love it. They're in the zone. So, Maggie, I'd love for you to talk us through some of the people behind the mission up there. Walk us through who's on console.
We've got some of our best and brightest here in the Mission Control Center. So the Mission Control Center is actually a network of rooms. We've got Mission Control, Launch Control, and engineering support rooms where our team is looking through data constantly. Now this whole team is led by our launch director. His name is Ben Dykstra. Ben is responsible for the launch, tip to tail. He is doing the go, no go.
Anyway, I'm going to lower the audio on that just for a second, just so we could finish that thought. About being responsible is, it's better to be respected than it is to get clicks or likes. And so, just
unfortunately, not everybody knows that.
Not everybody believes that, especially a lot of young photographers or a lot of young airplane spotters. But you figure if, you get some of us that are a little older, been doing a lot more, maybe they'll take some of those habits. But yeah, Joe has a good point. Also, don't fly your mini mock drones near a wildfire or harass crowds.
So true.
Yeah, crowds of people. It's so true. I mean, you saw they were pulling a drone parts out of one of those firefighting aircraft in LA. Pretty wild.
That. So you think, you wonder how many acres of that fire spread because that one aircraft had to be out of service.
Well, you never know because,
yeah,
maybe they didn't notice because the pilot may not have noticed that he hit something until the ground inspection, when it landed to refuel. But still, it took it out of service for the next go, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
It's common sense. You don't fly a drone around military aircraft or where there's an active emergency situation like the fires in California, which are just horrific.
Right.
Godspeed to everybody who's fighting those fires right now, especially the hot shots and the pilots.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I mean, imagine the stress on who's directing all the air traffic for that area. I mean, there's helicopters, fixed wing, just all over the place.
Well, yeah, and it's right next to LAX.
Yeah, and
then you've got the LAX traffic. You've got Orange County, maybe not quite as much, but you've also got Burbank. You've got Ontario. You've got Van Nuys Airport, which is a very busy private executive airport, and then all the other airports that are scattered throughout there. So it's got to be crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely nuts. But yeah, we hope to get some coverage of some rocket launches sometime in the near future. Hey, look, she's from Pleasant Grove, Utah.
All right.
That's about 25 minutes to my east of where I live here in Eagle Mountain, Utah.
Yep, due east, right across the pond.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Utah Lake.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So a really incredible legacy of spaceflight in that family, and they're bringing it to the Blue family. So we're really proud of them today. Megan Lewis.
And then we've got Keith. What's up, Keith? How you doing, man? She should be good tomorrow and back on station. Yeah, I assume he's talking about the fire tanker that we were talking about.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for jumping on, Keith. It's good to hear from you, man. Hope to see you again soon. Just hanging out with Keith. Last time I was with Keith was at the Spanish Fork Airport. They're flying, and
cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Got me some good access to take shots of the Blue Angels T-33 and a couple other aircraft out there for that. But yeah, Keith Keith's a good dude. Let's see. I'm going to bring the audio up a little bit again because we're getting close. And we've just got launch pad sound right now from Blue Origin stream.
Yeah, and he was
Super
actually,
Scooper. That's right. Yeah, the Super Scooper from Canada. I'm actually surprised there aren't any U.S. based Super Scoopers, at least that I know of. But they seem to be able to do more rounds than anything else because they're just setting down there on the ocean, picking up their water for the next pass.
When did the Evergreen 747 that they were using? I know they were testing it, but did they ever put that actually into service?
They did. So there was another. They converted a 747-400 freighter to it. And use it for a while, but the cost involved, I just think was just too much, and it was only used for a few years, if I remember. But I think just the cost really was kind of the demise of that aircraft. It cost so much.
That's too bad, because that 747 probably could have put that fire out.
A few passes, yeah.
There's some great video of the
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, of the firefighters.
Yeah. Well, we definitely don't want the fire on this to be put out. We want this launch to go smoothly, and we need all that thrust on these motors. 7 of them.
I wish I need to use my
That's what she said.
Okay, I was trying to find that button.
Exactly.
Dude, look at the timer.
Oh, they brought it back up to 29. Damn, we got down to like 10 minutes. That's okay. At least it didn't go back up to 35.
Yeah, but we're gonna be here all fucking night.
No, it's okay. I know. It's all good. Let's
Well,
see.
here, since they pushed it back,
yeah.
I've got a cool video. It's somebody put together a compilation on X of some of the firefighters. So let me.
Yeah, let's do that
really quick. Now I turned the audio off because of course there's music. But
yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, there's just some great footage. This first guy in the helicopter, man, check this out.
Oh yeah, what a wild dump there. And then you gotta love the sky cranes, man.
Yeah, exactly. Check out this.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's just
I'm telling you what, you hate to see a situation where like that DC-10 is needed, but talk about just awe-inspiring. I mean, imagine just standing there on that ridge and having that DC-10 fly over you like that, maneuvering like that. It's pretty wild.
Just in some of these helicopters, there's the Super Scooper. I mean, just the maneuvering of these helicopters is just insane.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. Look at that. And they have to pull up over the ridge. Yeah, you got to be a hell of a pilot, man.
You do, and you've got to have like balls of steel at the same time.
Yeah.
I love that right there. Did the video just start over? Yeah, it started over. So
they're talking again. Hold on.
Okay. Perfect. Bring him back.
Right with us. But while we've got a little bit more time, I would like to check in with my colleague, Eddie Seifert, out there at Cars Park, where he's joined by Team Blue Origin up here,
Joe,
our
Top
team
Gun
that's based here in Florida.
firefighter, eh?
What you got
Yep.
going on down there, Eddie?
Yeah, hey Ariane, welcome back to the best seat in the house here at Cars Park. I'm with the Smith family. We're working at Blue Origin, and working on rockets is a family affair. I'm with father Mike Smith, son Corbin Smith, and granddaughter Elizabeth.
Oh, I thought he was
Elizabeth, tell
introducing
me,
like
you've
a
sent a postcard to
pastor.
space, is that right? And tell
But
me,
he
what
actually
was
is the father of the
on your
kids. Okay.
postcard?
There was rockets and planets.
So rockets and planets on the postcard. Now, Corbin, how did you get your start at Blue Origin?
So I first started up in Huntsville, where I worked with an amazing team on the engine crew, building BE4 and BE3U. Now I'm here down at Rocket Park, building the thrust structures for GS2.
Excellent. Must be special to be working on that GS2 rocket out there. And Mike, how about you? How did you get your start at Blue?
Well, it was my son that actually encouraged me to apply, and we got hired around the same time. And it's been awesome being able to work with him on different projects. We get to talk about work at home and do different things. We bleed blue at home.
Excellent, excellent. And Elizabeth, tell me, what are you most looking forward to today's launch?
For the rocket to go up in space.
Well, I think we're going to end on that note, Ariane. We're looking forward for that rocket to go to space.
Ariane,
Let's send New Glenn to space. Let's
it
light this
sounds
candle.
like the French Ariane
I love
rocket
it. It
every
is
time
a
they say
family
that.
affair, and I think I love seeing the different generations there, father-son pair working at Blue. I look forward to seeing that little firecracker, that little girl joining us in a couple of years here in the future. It just speaks to, it takes years to build these rockets, and that's what we're here to do at Blue. We're here to build these rockets that are laying the foundation for building the road to space, right? And so that children like her can pick up the torch and build on top of that. We're setting forth so that they can build infrastructure in space, and really, it's all for the benefit of Earth. Well,
You
with
think-
that, thanks, Eddie, for checking in.
You think
with
every
us.
time they
We
push
are
the
T-minus
clock back,
24 minutes and
they're
10
like,
seconds to go.
shit,
Over
now
the
what
launch.
I'm going to
Let's check
say.
out New Glenn on the pad
I
as he gets
know.
ready for launch this evening.
I know. Interesting. So, okay, so now we're at 23. So we'll come back here, but there was something interesting, and we'll just kind of turn this into a little mini Ramp Check Aviation live stream podcast. But so I wanted to play this really quick. So stand by one. Let me turn down the audio on the one, but I wanted to click on this.
This is very deliberate. Nothing happens in China.
So hold
social
on.
Media. These are all lifted out. Next slide. Next slide,
Oh,
please.
wow. Yeah, I want to see
You
this.
may have seen this. So on 26 December, Mao Zedong's birthday, and this is very deliberate. Nothing happens in China on social media. These are all lifted out of Chinese social media. Nothing happens. Not one, but two new aircraft were revealed, were flown. The U.S. hasn't officially designated the one on the right yet. It's right there, Chinese, or the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation, CAC. The pundits are calling it the JH-36 because the tail number has a 36 on it, and it follows the J-35. Go to the next slide, please.
Anyway,
You may have seen this.
that's the video on there. But man, I would have loved to have been to that whole briefing or whatever they
Oh,
were doing.
yeah, definitely. Was
But-
that was posted by the new Area 51?
Yeah,
love
that's
his
right.
content. If you're not following the new Area 51,
Yeah.
make sure you start. There's
Absolutely.
Bezos.
Yeah, so there's that shot I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The screenshot. He's dialed in there. Good luck,
He dialed in.
Jeff Bezos. So that's cool. Let's see what a few other people. Yeah, Scott Manley and another clock reset. That's right. That's right. Everybody get another cup of coffee, get some caffeine.
Take a lead.
Marcus House screenshot 2910 with ... first comment. Let's
Nice.
see here. Let's see. Space flight now. Just talking about another clock adjustment. Let's see. launch time's now halfway through the launch window. I'm pretty sure that Blue Origin working with the scrub Rub's philosophy, so I'll be surprised if it doesn't launch tonight. So hopefully it launches.
Yeah, hopefully it launches because it's past my bedtime.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Everyday Astronaut, new video. Let's see. He's talking about
Any
Starship.
update on Starship Flight 7?
Not that I know of yet.
On a launch date? Okay.
Nice F-15 shot with the moon. Oh yeah, look at the B1s and
Dude.
Whew. Curtis LeMay stand. If two B1s fly together, does that make them a B2? Funny.
Or so F5
Ab geek humor.
5 F-16s would be an F-80.
An F-80. Jeez. That's funny. Let's see.
Oh, you can just leave that up there. I'm good.
Oh yeah. There you go. Wow. Anyway, here's some more. Let's see. Just kind of scrolling through. Let's see if it's anything interesting. So live now. And Elon Musk even says good luck to Blue Origin. So that's
you think
right.
Elon just has a little chuckle every time they push the clock back?
Clock. He's like, oh, well, he knows.
He's
I mean,
been there a million times.
They've had to do it, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we'll go back to their stream. I just thought it was interesting. There's some more fire fighting footage. That's crazy. Let's see. Let me switch back to New Glenn.
Hey, it's 19 minutes again.
All right. Well, let's hope that this is it.
7 nozzles of the 7 BE4 engines. You want to tell us a little bit more, Denise?
Yeah, so New Glenn is powered by 7 BE4 engines. Now, these are the nation's first reusable, oxidizer-rich stage combustion booster engines. They use liquid oxygen and liquefied natural gas, or LNG, which is essentially a commercial form of methane.
Yeah, and we selected LNG because it's cleaner burning and more efficient than kerosene, or also known as RP1, rocket propellant 1. That's what a lot of rockets use. It's also low cost and widely available, which is really important when you're doing lots of launches, which is our intention for this New Glenn program. I should also note that we have done a ton of testing on the BE4 engine, and we also want to keep those costs down as well. All of it adds up, right? And one of the coolest aspects, though, about LNG is that it can self-pressurize its tank through a process known as autogenous repressurization, right? So this eliminates the need for costly and complex systems that use helium, which is pretty rare. So normally you got helium and other gases in there to push the pressures properly through the engines to get them ready to go. But with LNG, it basically does it on its own. That's what that means.
It's so fascinating. And, in terms of power, each BE4 engine generates an impressive 550,000 pounds of thrust. So when you combine all 7 engines, New Glenn produces about 3.85 million pounds of thrust at launch. And just to put that into perspective, that's roughly half the thrust of a Saturn V rocket, which took humans to the moon. Imagine that power of 200 Boeing 737 airplane engines all firing at once. That's what we're looking at here.
Technically, the Saturn V just
these
took the humans to
images
space.
here, this video. This is from our test facility down in West Texas. And man, oh man, I have been down there actually for one of these tests. And our facility down in West Texas is in this valley, and it just reverberates. You feel like you're in the inside of a drum. It just shakes the entire valley. And,
what were you saying, brother?
It's just incredible, and we're putting 7 at the base of this vehicle. The other thing you should see in that video
Saturn
there
V?
is that it burns this really cool blue
Oh, I
color.
was just saying that
So
technically the Saturn V
I'm not saying that's why we
took
this for
astronauts
but
to
it's a nice
space.
little bonus
Saturn
to it.
V didn't take them all the way to the moon.
lot of power
Well,
coming
but all the stages did.
and also a lot of
Yeah, the first stage, they had to have enough
too. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
thrust in order to break first grab, you know, to the moon. But
because I'm annoyed that the clock
Together,
gets
they produce the
pushed back.
equivalent
Oh,
amount of
don't be.
horsepower needed to power 2 Nimitz-class aircraft carriers at full speed.
It's all good. That's how it goes covering these things.
I know.
Think about that. I mean, the comparison is crazy, but just think about that efficiency that goes into that turbo machinery. Then you also see here, obviously, the comparison between our BE4 engine. So there are 7 of those on the base of the vehicle, and our BE3U, BE3 upper stage engines, or 2 of those on the second stage. I want to talk a little bit more here. You see the comparison of the BE4 to the BE3U. You also have a comparison of the power of it as well. You know, both of these engines are highly sophisticated and have unique functionality built for New Glenn.
I feel your
itself.
pain, Joe.
So for BE4, as we noted, we've got 7 of these engines in total at the booster. We saw a cool image of that a second ago. The 3 middle engines are gimbaling engines that can pivot to help steer the rocket. So that will be working, of course, in conjunction with the fins at the top of the booster. Now, those 3 middle engines are going to relight to help with deceleration and landing burns. And the other 4 engines are fixed. And this is the combination that gives us both the power
So
that
I
we
assume
need,
the
but
3
also
middle are the ones that are
flexibility
in
we need for
line.
different stages of flight.
And you know, the
Kinda what I
BE4
was thinking.
engines are produced at our manufacturing facility in Huntsville, Alabama, and they're tested rigorously at our facilities, both in West Texas and Huntsville, to ensure they meet the high standards.
Yeah, and we should note there are 7 of these on New Glenn, but our friends at ULA with their Vulcan rocket, they use 2 of these engines. And those have already flown successfully to space. So we are very proud of that these engines have already flown to space, and can't wait to see them power
They change it to 35.
this New Glenn rocket as well. They are going to be rattling this building very, very shortly. Well, with that, at T-minus 35 minutes to go until launch, let's toss it back to the rocket and check out.
Let's see what
New
the
Glenn
update is.
as this
I'm going to
vehicle
go to
gets ready for
McDonald's,
its
man.
launch
I'm
to space
hungry.
this evening.
I know, right? So by the way, Keith actually texted me while we were listening to that about the rocket engines, the motors. Flight 7 for Starship, 2 days, 14 hours, 46 minutes.
Oh, good. All right.
So thanks, Keith, for sending me that. So we will we'll try to cover that that launch too. We'll see how it goes. But so Wednesday, January 15th, 3 p.m. To 4:38 p.m. MST.
Cool. We'll be on for that for sure.
So that's 3. Yeah. So, and Wednesday nights is usually when we do the Ramp Check Aviation podcast, but maybe we'll cover that and then just do a few things for the podcast and call it good that day.
For sure. Sure.
But yeah. Let's see.
Well, do we want to just let the feed run for a little bit? And
yeah, we can do that. We can come back on in a minute. I'll add. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just run a little ticker on here, and we can punch out for a second here, and then come back.
Yeah, because I've been like working on the computer all night long, and I forgot to eat dinner.
Yeah, go grab
And
some
I've
to
been out
eat.
there, and so it's like,
I know.
come on, you guys. Well, I
I know.
understand. It's all on safety. I'm just.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're getting close to their window though. The end of their
How,
two. It's like a 2 or 3 hour window. I think last time I saw.
So, and they were supposed to launch at, I believe it was 10:30 local our time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Originally.
Mm.
So now it's
I thought it was 11.
Oh, maybe it was 11.
I think it was 11 local our time, but
so they've
Mountain Standard.
probably only got about another 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if the launch, if it gets pushed back again, more than 10 minutes or so, they're probably gonna have to scrub it tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. We'll be back in like let's see, what is it? 30. We'll be back in like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, let's do that.
And check in with everybody. But yeah, we'll leave the feed up, and we'll see you again soon here.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Love you guys.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Aaron and I will be right back.
Yes,
but you can stay
the stream is staying live.
Yep.
Yes.
Back. Don't cross the streams. Wait.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are at T-minus 25 minutes and 40 seconds to go until launch. You may have seen we've been adding some time to the clock. This is to allow our teams to go through their checklists. Keep in mind there are multiple sub-teams that are up there in launch and mission control. We want to make sure that everything is ready to go, and if some of those items on the checklist take a little bit of extra time, we're going to do so, especially since it is NG-1. We want to make sure that everybody is prepared and everything is aligned. We should also mention, again, we have to keep our eyes on the weather, both here and downrange. So with that, let's continue to check out New Glenn on the pad as this rocket and our teams get ready for NG-1. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We're at T-minus 23 minutes and 45 seconds to go till launch. With all this action going on upstairs at Launch and Mission Control, why don't we check in with our friend Maggie. Maggie, you got me?
Loud and clear, Ariane.
Right on. What's going on up there? What are you hearing about the status of our teams?
Yep, things are busy. The team is continuing to work through a few anomalies before we can proceed into terminal count. So we've got the engineers looking at all that data. We've got the controllers working through workarounds. So something that I think people don't always think about is that we have an enormous amount of what we're doing here in pre-launch procedures that's, scripted. We can plan it. But when off-nominal things are happening, we've got a team of controllers who can manually operate these systems. So the team that we talked about in our last bit, they are actually going through and able to turn things on and off, put different pressure through different valves. They are working through everything they can to make sure that we have a chance to launch today.
Fantastic. Yes, it's, we run through, when you talk about all the preparation for a launch, of course, we talk about, testing the rocket itself, but we also go through a lot of these simulations in terms of the operations with our team. And you test as much as you can, you go through as many rehearsals as possible, but sometimes day of, you gotta put that's why we got the really smart people in there so that they can work through whatever it is they're finding that might be a little bit off, and that's what our team is doing up there. Maggie, what
Ariane,
else? Sorry, go ahead.
No, the team here has gotten some good practice. I think we all saw the hot fire that we recently successfully made it through. So that is, almost everything up until launch. Before that, we had a successful second stage hot fire. Those are those BE3U engines. And before that, we were doing tanking tests, mass simulators. We've done component testing, system testing. And a lot of the engineers that are working in this room are actually responsible engineers on the floor. So they've gotten their hands on this hardware. They know their systems.
Excellent. Very good point. I think I've always appreciated what we do here at Blue Origin. We tend to rotate our engineers. A lot of them, as you said, get to go down to the floor, see their hardware maybe that they've designed, talk to the men and women that are fabricating, but then also assembling the vehicle. They are very, very in tune, in touch with this vehicle. So if there are things for them to work, especially in these last minutes, we've got the right team to do it. Maggie, I want to thank you again for bringing us all the details. We've got a couple of minutes to go here. We got 20 minutes and 47 seconds to go until launch. Why don't we take a look at New Glenn as this rocket gets ready to go to space. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are T-minus 19 minutes to go until launch here, and while our teams are continuing to get aligned, why don't we take a moment to chat a little bit about this amazing building we are in, the factory at Rocket Park here in Florida. This is where it all comes together, where we bend the metal on New Glenn. I literally see people down there bending metal, pulling, putting the components together, testing, cleaning. But also, not only do we talk about, just all the intricate, but to build a rocket like this, the sheer scale of the facility here, this factory, but also the other buildings around here are just mind-blowing.
It really is quite impressive. So Rocket Park is essentially where we bring our rocket dreams to life. We're talking about state-of-the-art manufacturing and assembly areas designed to produce rockets efficiently and, of course, sustainably. This is where the stages of New Glenn come together.
Yeah, exactly. And the folks here at Rocket Park are not just building rockets, they're really shaping the future of space travel. I should say, I've had the good fortune of being here for 10 years now, and I have seen this facility, the whole park, in addition to Launch Complex 36, come together, and it is just amazing. Like, really from the bottom up, and the ability to build the next generation rocket in the next generation rocket factory. Like, our team is given what they need to make just an incredible vehicle. Why don't we take a deeper look at the home of New Glenn, Rocket Park.
Welcome to Blue Origin's Rocket Park in Florida, the home of New Glenn. This is where our orbital rocket is designed, built, integrated, launched, refurbished, and reflown, all within a 9-mile radius along Florida's Space Coast. Rocket Park is an active operations site for many Blue Origin activities, including manufacturing, integration and testing for New Glenn, and production of our Blue Moon lunar landers and future programs. Florida's Space Coast is 72 miles long and steeped in more than 6 decades of human spaceflight history. We stand on the shoulders of giants. New Glenn will help us build a road to space for the benefit of Earth. It's the foundation of everything we will accomplish. It will deliver cargo and crew to anywhere, including the moon, and help us establish a permanent lunar presence. It will enable us to harness the resources of space and launch all kinds of infrastructure to make space accessible, usable, and affordable for humans. The factory on Merrill Island is the centerpiece of Rocket Park. It's here where New Glenn is built and tested. The high bay is where New Glenn becomes real. Raw material enters at one end, and completed rocket stages roll out the other side. From there, New Glenn heads to the surface coatings facility for its thermal protection, paint, and artwork. It then heads to tank cleaning and test, or TCAT, for pressure testing and cleaning. The factory is also home to New Glenn's Mission Control. On launch days, Mission Control comes alive as the rocket rolls out from its hangar down the road and goes vertical at Launch Complex 36. This historic launch site was rebuilt from the ground up just for New Glenn. Protected by 2 lightning towers, almost double the height of the Statue of Liberty, New Glenn prepares for liftoff at mile marker 0. This is where the road to space begins.
What a beautiful area Rocket Park is in. There's just so much history here on the Space Coast, and we are eager to write our own chapter with New Glenn.
Absolutely. There really is just so much history, and there's something to be said about the testing and integration and design teams all working so closely together. I know that working on the programs myself, being able to talk to the designers and the people who are making the hardware is just so valuable to increase communication and efficiency, and our campus really allows for that.
100%. The physical proximity is really, really important, and it's not known, actually, but historically rockets have launched out of the Cape, but they haven't been built here. And so to be able to build our rocket here, do the integration here of the rocket, but then also obviously the payload with the rocket. And then when we get GS1, we get the booster back, we'll be doing all of the refurbishment here. That is so important, that co-location, to have that all come together. And, you know, I love that video because you see all the action, as I mentioned, you know. It's so funny, I was looking through photos earlier today, and I've got photos in the flame trench when they were just putting it up. You know, they were pouring concrete. You know, I remember being in this facility when there weren't doors on. It was just, you know, dirt on the ground. I remember we had no joke, we had a poll when they were clearing the land for this rocket park as to how many turtles we would find, because we have to relocate all of the turtles because there's incredible wildlife in this area. So of course we wanted to make sure that we protect those animals and the wildlife. And so we had a poll as to how many turtles we were going to find. God, I wish I could remember.
I was going to say, do you
remember? I know. I didn't win it, clearly. But, you know, there's just so much work that went into building this facility from the ground up. And to be here today is just, it feels surreal in many ways. And, you know, that I was just talking a little bit about the factory itself, but the launch complex, you know, LC-36, as you touched on earlier this evening, has been around for a long time, has been where many historic rockets and missions have launched from, and we basically stripped it down to the ground and rebuilt it for this world-class rocket for decades to come. You know, we invested in this facility knowing that we're going to be here a while. With that said, we also here at Blue Origin like to pay homage to the giants who have the shoulders upon which we stand, right? Like the vehicle, of course, is named New Glenn. But also what's really cool is, and you can't quite see it here in the dark, but we kept what's called the blockhouse. So during a lot of the previous launches, there would actually be a crew in the blockhouse, which is not very far from that launch pad, when they launched a rocket. This thing is like a concrete fort, basically. It's not very big, and it's got, on the inside, it's got these massive, heavy doors that close to protect the teams. To be very clear, we're not using that blockhouse tonight. We don't use it in our operations, but it is something that we have kept on site because of the history that is in that facility. I hope that one day I'll be able to go back in there. I did get a chance to peek my head in a couple of years ago. It feels almost like what's the right way of putting it? It feels like a step into the past.
Yeah.
You know, the old computers and like, you know, the ashtrays. They're literally cigarettes that are still there from back in the day. We don't allow that in our launch control rooms. But again, clearly a throwback to the past. But just this facility, it feels really good to be here. It feels like we're set up for success as much as possible, which is really, really great. Okay, we are at T-minus now 36 minutes and 40 seconds to go until launch. Again, our team has added more time to the clock. They are working through their checklist. There's clearly some things that they want to spend a little bit more time on, and that is okay. I will reiterate. We have spent years designing this rocket. We have spent months and months designing this mission, building this particular vehicle as well. The design and test that's gone into the engines that are powering this rocket. If we need a couple more minutes, especially on this first launch, that is okay with us. You know, we want to give our team the right time and the space that they need to, you know, to work on whatever they got going on up there. I also want to, you know, keep in mind, my understanding is that the weather continues to stay inbounds here at the Cape, as well as out at sea. But for the moment, we have decided to put more time on the clock, which means that we still have a chance, still have the opportunity to launch this evening. I should say,
I was waiting for it,
Ariane. I know, it's pretty apropos because this vehicle says...
So you're telling me there's a chance.
That is the name of this booster. So yes, everything is, it's like it was meant to be for this vehicle.
It really
okay, with that, we are T-minus 35 minutes to go until launch. Let's continue to check out New Glenn on the pad as it continues to prepare for its launch to space this evening. Welcome back, everybody. We're at T-minus 31 minutes and 30 seconds to go until launch. As you may have noted, we continued to add time back to the clock. That, of course, is to make sure that our teams are aligned. I do understand that we're working an issue. That is okay. That means, if we're adding time to the clock, it means that the team thinks that there might be a possibility that we can sort it out so we can get to a launch this evening. So we're going to give them the time that they need. Beautiful beautiful view of the vehicle on the pad there. From the outside, she sure looks ready to go, but of course, there's so much that goes into a complex vehicle like this. But since we do have some time, why don't we take a closer look at our vision and mission at Blue Origin? As we've said time and time again, we're building a road to space for the benefit of Earth. This vision isn't only about exploring space, it's about making life better here on Earth. Let's check it out a bit more about our vision.
New Shepard is just the beginning. The first step.
From the very start, it's only been about one thing: Earth.
Earth, our Blue Origin.
We've sent robotic probes all over the solar system, and it's full of wonders: gas giants, rocky moons.
Earth is the best planet. It is not close.
Despite the variety, despite the wonder in the solar system,
there's no place like home.
Earth is our home, and there is no other place like it.
All life on Earth are uniquely matched to this planet. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the solar system, not even close, no way.
We have no choice but to preserve Earth. Preserve this planet, this one.
we get to focus on the future, and the future is nothing without Earth.
For almost all of human history, Earth has seemed big.
It seemed big, but we now know it's small, it's finite. And we know that the rate that we're using Earth's resources is not sustainable.
Earth has things that we need to work on in the here and now.
But there are also long-term problems.
We can't wait to work on the long-term problems. We have to work on both.
One fundamental long-term problem.
We will run out of energy on Earth.
It's just arithmetic. It's going to happen. Humans have always used about 100 watts of power. That's our natural metabolic rate.
But in our developed technological society, we use over 10,000 watts of power per person.
Humans' use of energy is not actually a bad thing.
We live in an era of dynamism and growth.
There are so many good things that happen when we use energy.
Think about technology, transportation, hospitals, data.
As humans, we are at our best when we are inventing, when we are growing, when we are making progress.
But humans are doubling our energy use every 25 years, and that's unsustainable. Today, you could cover all of humanity's energy needs by covering the state of Nevada in solar cells. But at that rate of growth, in 200 years, you'd have to cover the entire planet in solar cells.
What can we do? Can we be more efficient? Yes, but we have been.
Today's technology is more efficient in nearly every manner.
We are gaining efficiency, and yet, when we gain more efficiency, what do?
We use more energy.
We have an ever-increasing demand for more energy.
So what if we just use less? Well, that doesn't work either. Throttling energy use means slowing down progress. You stop living in a world of abundance and you move to a world of scarcity and rationing.
There has to be another way.
There is another way. Space.
In space, we can expand humanity. We don't want to leave Earth behind, but preserve it and expand humanity into space.
We can have 1 trillion humans in the solar system, which means we'd have 1,000 Mozarts and 1,000 Einsteins. This would be an incredible civilization.
Humanity will grow and progress and use energy for good.
Humanity can expand into the solar system by building destinations close to Earth, close to our home planet.
New places, places we haven't even dreamed of yet.
Places that feel like home. Places where great work can be done using the resources of space. An expanse that is meant for everyone, all kinds of people.
This is a hopeful future, an enduring human presence in space. Space is the long-term solution for Earth.
We are building a critical part of the infrastructure that's going to allow others to unlock
the road to space so that future generations can unleash their creativity.
It won't be easy. Space must become much, much more accessible to make this vision a reality.
Big things start somewhere, and that somewhere happens to be today.
There are certain gates we have to go through, certain prerequisites. If we don't do these, we will never get there.
First, we have to radically lower the cost of access to space.
This means reusable rockets.
We have to get really good at using rockets over and over.
Reusable rockets, reusable engines.
Once you learn how to do that, you can basically start spinning this flywheel where the more you fly, the cheaper it gets. The cheaper it gets, the more you fly.
Launch, land, repeat.
Going back and landing a rocket is really hard. And it is absolutely essential that we get good at that so that we can drive down the cost of launch vehicles.
BE-3, BE-4, BE-7, all made from the ground up to be reusable propulsion systems.
Operational reusability. That means making space travel as routine as air travel is.
This is what will radically bring down the cost of getting to space.
And we are bringing all of that learning to New Glenn, the next step of building the road to space.
Once you have low-cost access to space, the next gate becomes harnessing the resources of the solar system.
There are so many more resources up there in space than there is on our planet.
I mean, everyone's familiar with this idea of locally sourced goods, and this is just a really extreme version of that.
The moon is where we'll learn to do all this.
The moon has a vast quantity of resources.
And if we can learn to harness those resources, we can travel without stressing the Earth.
That's the goal. We'll go to space, and we'll use its resources to power our transportation and build destinations.
Anything we need, we will use the stuff in space to make it happen.
The moon is the next thing. We're going back.
It's time to go back to the moon, this time to stay. Make no mistake about this. This is not going to get done by any one generation. One of the things that we have to do is inspire those future generations.
This vision of millions of people living and working in space for the benefit of Earth is a very, very long-term vision.
It's gonna take generations.
We have to make sure that what we're doing today is setting up the next generation.
It's going to take all kinds of people.
Engineers, entrepreneurs, architects, artists, you, your children, your grandchildren.
This is kind of humanity's cathedral. You know, cathedrals took multiple generations of artisans and craftsmen and masons to build. And there was never the expectation that one person would design and fully execute the vision.
We have to inspire the next generation to carry this torch for the benefit of Earth.
For the benefit of Earth.
For the benefit of Earth.
We are Blue Origin.
And we will do all of this.
We'll do all of this.
For the benefit of Earth.
What's up, brother?
Oh, dear God.
An inspiring message. You know, actually, our very name.
Can you hear me okay?
Means
Yeah.
Earth, right? So
I actually
when
didn't
our future generations
didn't know that
are out there.
Blue Origin was
They will look back at their blue.
the Earth, which is kind of cool, though. I didn't know that. Blue Origin is the Earth. The origin. It's almost like the that famous picture the Voyager spacecraft took. The you know, the blue dot.
Oh yeah, yep, exactly.
Space technology.
I just
not only just
that
for one country, not only for one
that video, dude. I have a few issues, but We're not going to pick it apart.
And that's why, you know, I love
Can you
that
hear me?
that our company has this.
Sorry, it was cutting in and out. Sorry about that.
You know, actually, before I
Hey,
took
can
my
you hear me?
current
I
role,
got
was
you now.
leading,
Yep, I got you loud and
international
clear.
international sales, and it was just really nice to get out there and talk to our international customers.
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
And people
There you go. That's
That was
better.
weird. Yeah, something was happening with my mic.
Anyway,
Anyway, just
you know, and really
talking
to them about
virtue signaling was a little over the top.
Yeah, but I mean, dude,
And
I don't know.
I
don't know. We're not.
I mean, it's a promo video. I get it, and they're just
I
killing
know.
time.
I know.
But and then
I don't think there's any question any of us, you know, we want the earth clean. We want the earth,
well, yeah,
you know, livable. We don't want to pollute and ruin things. And they have a good point about space, and you know, certain industries could be moved
oh sure
up to orbit or up to space. I mean, that's a pretty wild idea. I've never really heard of it like that before. I don't know if SpaceX has ever said something like that, but that's actually kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that
Yeah,
And a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough to talk about this without getting into politics and shit like that. And it's like,
just into yeah. It's like come on, guys. We don't need to. I don't know.
I don't know. I know. I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, and you know, we all. I think we can all agree that this is cool, a cool time to be alive, to see all this technology, and you know, man looking to expand, you know, beyond the moon. And you know, there's nothing wrong with creating energy, you know, more efficiently and cleaner and all that type of stuff. But it's, you know, I don't know, dude. I just don't want to go too into the weeds about,
oh no, and I wasn't,
you know, things like that.
That's not why I was saying it. I just thought it was kind of funny that
There's also, you know, our
just
teammate that's up in
it just went into that, and one other funny thing I thought about the video is Jeff Bezos is giving his speech and he's acting like it was his idea to go to space.
Well, it's their promo video, dude.
Well, exactly.
You know, this is their time to shine during this. This is their, you know, this is their gig. And anybody, it doesn't matter if you're talking, you know, Boeing or Lockheed Martin or, you know, Blue Origin or NASA or SpaceX. It's
that's up there in space, right? It's not
you
just
know,
about the transportation, which is crucial.
you gotta give them their time to, you know, their time to shine.
Yeah, they got a little catching up to do though.
Our customers, but also ourselves, are.
Yeah, they do, especially with, man, how crazy it is, how far along SpaceX is coming with Super Heavy and Starship and all that.
Oh yeah.
Space is infinite. And so if we can take advantage
And it's interesting too how they instead of like grid fins like SpaceX went, especially on booster on Super Heavy, how they're fixed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fold out and down, you know, like the Falcon 9 does. But they went with actual fins that help steer, kind of more conventional.
Near the bottom
with
of the rocket.
With New Glenn. Well, and at the top of first stage.
Ready for NG-1.
So you know, at the top of first stage, you've got the steering fins.
Yeah.
You know, and they've got some, you know, some type of aerodynamic fin at the bottom too, but you know, and then the shroud at the very bottom that houses the landing legs. You know, similar to Falcon 9, just different design, obviously, different engineers at work.
Okay, it's approaching 15 minutes.
Let's hope.
We think it's gonna. Well, last time we almost got to single digits.
I know, it was so close. It was like, what did we get to, like 11 minutes last time they did it?
Yeah, just in fact, I don't think it got any lower than 11 minutes. Yeah. It's past Tony's bedtime. Holy shit. Light this candle.
Wasn't that Alan Shepard that said that?
Mm-hmm.
Light this candle.
Yep. And it was right after he had to go to the bathroom. He drank all that coffee. And
yeah.
They told him just to pee in his spacesuit. And, you know, he used to do that, that Jose Jimenez impression. And I think that was originally on the Ed Sullivan Show as one of the characters, old variety show from way back when. And he's like, I'm a wetback now.
Yeah. Well, The Right Stuff, man. That's a
great movie if you haven't seen it. Dear Lord, please don't let me fuck up.
I know. So here's the pale blue dot photo. So
oh yeah.
Voyager, let's see. It was Voyager 1 on February 14th, 1990. From the unprecedented distance of approximately 6 billion kilometers or 3.7 billion miles.
When did Voyager 1 launch?
1977, the year I was born.
So 1977, and you said what year was this photo taken?
1990.
So that was 13 years later.
Yeah.
Well, now it's 35 years later.
Oh, yeah, and Voyager
6 years later.
Yeah, Voyager 1 and 2 at 47 years old are still functioning.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still sending back scientific data.
So the distance now is like 3 times what it was when that photo was taken. Is that right?
It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's the Voyager spacecraft have, you know, virtually exited the solar system, and they're in interstellar space at this point.
We'll get it back. It'll come back to us as a big blob threatening the Earth, and
I know.
And it'll be called V'ger. And you know, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelly, George Takei.
With AI,
they'll all save us.
With AI, the way it's going, you know, aliens could probably recreate some of our most beloved sci-fi characters in some form, and we'd be like, what the hell? What's going on? Okay, so we went to T-0. I think we're gonna scrub tonight.
That's kind of what it's.
Let's listen in.
Okay.
And the countdown clock is off, so I think they're gonna scrub. So the launch.
What's the Twitter saying?
The launch window closes at 4 a.m. Eastern because it was a 3-hour window that opened at 1 a.m. Eastern time.
Less than an hour to go for that.
Let's see. Yeah,
Not seeing
think,
on X.
Yeah, nothing on X yet. They're running out of time for their window because it's now 3:04 a.m. So they're less than an hour on their launch window. And now the clock is missing. So I'm assuming they're probably going to announce a scrub here soon. Which would be disappointing. I mean, we can understand there's lots of systems that have to be perfect for it to go. Yeah. Man, I wanted to see a rocket launch tonight.
Yeah, me too. That would.
But bad sounds pretty good right now too, though.
Tony's tired.
I know.
Tony needs sleepy.
I'm getting there too. Yeah, I'm sure Jessica's like, I knew you were gonna go do a live stream, but where the hell is my big burly warm husband?
Right?
It's 20 degrees outside. Somebody's got to keep Jessica warm. Huh. But yeah, we'll stay on the stream here. I'm guessing since they removed the countdown clock, it's probably going to be a scrub tonight.
More minutes. See what happens. I wish the ladies would come back on and give us a little idea what's going on.
Give us an update. Yeah. Nothing on X.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either.
Even from Blue Origin. Just people posting memes now. Launch or draw 25 minutes playing Uno. I'll go back to Blue Origin. Yeah, no updates from anything right now. But I mean, that's what happens when you're trying a new system, new launch vehicle. You know, you're going to have situations like this. But yeah, so for those of you watching, we've got Blue Origin's live stream feed right now, and they just removed, well, I'd say a few minutes ago, they removed the countdown clock. It has been running continuously for the last 2.5 hours, and they've been adjusting the time back up when it got down. I think we got down to what, 11 minutes at one time?
Yeah, just over 11 minutes.
11 or 12 minutes, and then it would boost up over 30 minutes, and they did that several times.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I've got a really quick, brother. I've got an update on X from Eric Berger at Sci-Guy Space.
Okay.
He's got a blue check. I'm not sure who he is. Did we mention a couple of his comments, didn't we, earlier tonight?
Maybe.
Maybe not. Anyway, he says they're scrubbing the launch attempt of New Glenn this morning. Not sure when it will be made official, and that was at 1:01 a.m. Eastern time. And there's a comment right below a reply. This is from a guy named Steve Stevenson. I have no idea who it is. Blue check mark. He says, that ad Bezos played right before failing the launch attempt was nauseatingly woke.
I know.
Funny. And the gifts are coming in too. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So read that one again about the scrub.
This was from Eric Berger on X. They're scrubbing the launch attempt. Here, let me see if I can put it up here. All right, so there it is right there from Eric Berger. They're scrubbing the launch attempt of New Glenn this morning. Not sure when it would be made official. He posted that about 8 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
all right, let's go back to the live stream just so when they pop in.
Okay. Oh, you're waiting for me to do that.
Just been getting an update from Mission Control. We are standing down today's launch attempt to troubleshoot a vehicle subsystem issue
official.
that will take us beyond our launch window. We are reviewing opportunities for our next launch attempt. So we've scrubbed today's NG-1 mission to give the team more time to work that issue, and we're reviewing what other things that we might need to get done in that period. When we know when the next opportunity is, of course, we will let everybody know. Now, to give the viewers a sense of what happens next, the launch team is now working to detank and safe the vehicle. From there, we're going to assess, as mentioned, what other things we might want to get done in our downtime, and that is what's going to guide when the next launch opportunity will be. Follow us on social media. That's the way to stay up to date on announcements for that next launch attempt. We do want to thank you for joining us. We can't wait to get right back here for our next launch attempt. Stay tuned. Gradatum Ferociter.
I was way off.
All right.
That's
That's
okay.
too bad. All right.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, we tried. We stayed with them from the beginning up until the announcement. We've streamed almost 3 hours tonight, believe it or
Wow,
not.
that's crazy.
2 hours, 40 minutes plus. But thanks for everybody that was on with us and for the questions, communication. But we'll keep an eye out. We definitely want to try to stream when SpaceX
Oh
does
yeah,
their
and
flight test this week.
Wednesday, we're hoping. This
yeah,
Wednesday.
this
We'll
Wednesday.
keep it posted. Just monitor our social medias, of course. If you're not following us, make sure you follow us on X. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. In fact, go to our YouTube channel. If you're brand new to us, make sure you follow us on X, of course, but go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. Lots of great original content. We're not one of those channels that just like reposts other people's stuff. We actually put out our own stuff, and it's actually pretty damn good. So check it out.
It's a lot of fun.
YouTube channel. You can check out our live stream, hit the live tab as well. And of course, go to our Ramp Swag store. We've got some of the coolest Ramp Swag out there. If you're an Av geek or if you know an Av geek, you love one, you like one, you don't like one, but you think they should have some really cool stuff, go to the Ramp Swag store. And they'll
I'll just share the screen.
Oh yeah, the new
a
shot
second.
glasses.
Oh yeah. So these are 10-ounce whiskey glasses. You throw some
glasses,
throw an adult beverage in there on the rocks. But these are kind of cool. So I've been adding some of these, but these are a lot of fun.
Oh
these
yeah,
designs.
those are really cool.
And then of course, the airplane spotting or aviation photography is not a crime. We've got some stuff on there, including bumper stickers and hats and hoodies. But yeah, check it out. These are all of our own original designs that we've done, along with some of our logo swag. But a lot of cool embroidered hoodies. These are all really good quality, cool designs, fun designs. But yeah, check it out. Lots of hoodies, hats, stickers, you name it. We've got a bunch of cool stuff.
Yep.
We'd be honored to be a part of your collection.
Absolutely. And of course, it looks good when you wear it as well. So.
It does. So anyway.
Yep. RampTechGlobal.com. That's where you can get to everything. Ooh, I recognize that. I was gonna wear it tonight, wear mine tonight that you gave me, but It's a little hot in here.
Yeah, a little warm.
My lights and yeah, I'm already sweating. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway, check it out.
Yep, definitely. Links all over the place on our different social media pages as well. So make sure you go there, check it out, buy yourself some swag, and be proud.
There you go. All right. Well, brother, have a good night. It's going to be a night to jump into bed. It's unfortunately it was a little anticlimactic, but you know, that's what happens in the space race. And
thanks for spending 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 7 seconds on this epic waste of time this evening. Glad you guys.
Yeah, but you just don't know.
Yep, you don't. It's just one of those things. It's what, and even if you were waiting for a flight test of a certain aircraft, this could be the same. Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
Good luck, Blue Origin. You'll get it figured out, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to stream the next opportunity to try and launch the New Glenn.
That's right. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We'll see you Wednesday, whether it's for the SpaceX Starship Flight Test 7 launch or our regular scheduled podcast.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I thought this was funny. I have to share this real quick as we close out. This is Emma at Emma_Nicole88 watching entire Clone Wars episodes in between delays.
Hell yes.
That's funny. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
Clone Wars are great, by the way. Check them out. I loved them. I get it.
They really are. They really are. So anyway, all right. Well,
hey.
Have a good night, brother, and thanks to everybody that was watching on X, Facebook, our YouTube channel, and then also we were on Rumble live streaming tonight too. So
we were cool. Okay, awesome.
Yep. So anyway,
right. Hey everybody. All right, I'm Tony.
I'm Aaron.
All right. Good night or good morning or whatever it is, wherever you guys are.
Yes. Later.